There is a version of you that he can't ignore, a presence he feels, even in your silence. A woman whose energy whispers, "I am the one." Once you learn how to activate that power, he won't just think of you, he will feel your marriage energy wrap around his mind, his heart, and his future. When a man thinks of you, something powerful happens beneath the surface. Something deeper than attraction, deeper than desire. It's the emotional signature you leave behind. It is the energy you project, even without speaking. When you master this truth, you no longer chase, you no longer convince, you no longer question your worth. You become the woman whose name carries a gravitational pull, the woman who rises in his mind like destiny, the woman whose presence delivers the calm, the certainty, and the future he didn't know he was waiting for. Marriage energy is not about forcing him to imagine a life with you. It's about becoming the version of yourself that naturally awakens that vision in him. Marriage energy begins inside you. It starts from the moment you stop looking at him for validation and begin treating yourself as the prize life has prepared. When you walk with certainty, when you speak with softness, when you hold your emotions with grace, a man senses something different in you. He doesn't just see you, he feels you. He feels a woman who knows her value, who stands in her identity, who doesn't fear losing him, because she understands her essence cannot be replaced. This is the foundation, knowing that you are already enough, already whole, already complete, with or without him. From that place the energy you project naturally becomes magnetic. Every time he thinks of you, you want him to experience a feeling he cannot get from anyone else. Peace mixed with passion, softness mixed with strength, elegance mixed with depth. These are the qualities that make a man imagine building a life with you, not just moments. When he feels that a woman brings emotional stability, warmth, and inspiration into his world, she stops being someone he talks to and becomes someone he cannot lose. Marriage energy is the vibration of a woman who creates harmony, not chaos. Certainty, not confusion. Devotion, not desperation. A man feels marriage energy when he remembers the way you make him feel safe, not in a motherly way, but in a spiritual way. You don't judge him, you don't force him, you don't push him into commitments. You let him breathe while letting him feel chosen at the same time. When a woman carries emotional maturity, she instantly separates herself from every woman who tries to win him with pressure or impatience. You win by being calm. You win by being secure. You win by being the type of woman whose presence feels like home, even if he hasn't entered the home yet. Marriage energy also radiates from your confidence. Not the loud kind, not the show-off kind, but the confident grace that speaks without words. When you know you are valuable, your energy becomes soft yet powerful. You don't explain your worth. You don't negotiate your standards. You don't fear his distance or silence. You understand one thing deeply. Whatever is meant for you will always find you, and whoever is wise enough will never let you go. This confidence makes him think of you not as an option, but as a blessing he doesn't want to lose. Another part of marriage energy is mystery, not the kind that confuses, but the kind that intrigues. You don't reveal every detail about your life. You don't overshare your fears, your past, or your insecurities. You reveal enough to be understood, yet hold enough back to be discovered. A man stays captivated by a woman who allows him to explore her mind, her heart, and her soul slowly. When every conversation leaves him curious, when every interaction leaves him wanting more, he starts imagining a lifetime with you. Mystery is not manipulation. It is simply the art of revealing your depth in layers, not all at once. Marriage energy becomes undeniable when your actions match the version of yourself you say you are. If you want to be seen as a woman of stability, you behave with stability. If you want to be seen as a woman of commitment, your life reflects commitment. If you want to be seen as a woman of emotional depth, you show emotional intelligence. Men don't commit because of words. They commit because of consistency. When a man sees that your energy is the same on your good days and your bad days, he feels safe enough to imagine a future with you. One powerful way to make him feel marriage energy is through your emotional awareness. When you don't take things personally, when you respond instead of react, When you listen instead of attack, you become unforgettable. Most women lose a man not because they are unworthy, but because they don't understand how heavily men value peace. When he feels that you bring clarity instead of storms, solutions instead of arguments, accountability instead of blame, he sees you as a woman who can walk through life with him, not against him. That alone awakens commitment within him. Another thing that makes him feel marriage energy is your vision. A woman with purpose is irresistible. When you have goals, passions, routines, dreams, and a life filled with meaning, you automatically rise in his eyes. Men don't commit to women who revolve around them. They commit to women who inspire them to rise. When he sees your strength, your ambition, your dedication, he begins to imagine himself standing beside you long term. A man wants a woman whose life adds value to his, not a woman who uses him as her only source of joy. Marriage energy also comes from the way you communicate. When you speak with warmth, when your tone is soothing yet firm, when your words uplift rather than break, he feels your emotional presence, even when you're not around. Men remember women whose voices feel like comfort. They remember women who speak with intention. They remember women who make them feel respected, admired, and appreciated. Communication is the emotional glue that binds two souls. The softer your voice, the stronger the bond becomes. Another magnetic part of marriage energy is your ability to detach with dignity. This is not coldness, not ego, not punishment. Detachment means you trust your values so deeply that you don't cling or panic when he pulls back. You understand his silence doesn't define your worth. You know what you want, and you are willing to walk away from anything that doesn't align with it. Men feel marriage energy when a woman is willing to lose him rather than lose herself. That is the energy of a woman who attracts commitment without ever begging for it. Marriage energy is also rooted in your feminine presence, the softness in your eyes, the calmness in your movements, the gentleness in your energy. When you are graceful, patient, nurturing, and emotionally warm, you create a frequency that stays in his mind long after he has walked away. Femininity is not weakness, it is quiet power. It is the ability to draw him closer without chasing him. It is the art of making him feel like the best version of himself when he is around you. Another important element is loyalty. Not blind loyalty, but emotional loyalty. When you show that you are steady, trustworthy, and honest, he feels secure in your energy. A man imagines marriage with a woman whose intentions are pure. When your words match your actions, when your compassion is sincere, when your presence is authentic, he automatically associates you with a long-term future. You become the woman who feels safe to love. Marriage energy becomes strongest when you stop trying to get him to choose you and start choosing yourself. When your self-respect becomes your foundation, everything about you becomes elevated. You don't tolerate disrespect. You don't accept inconsistency. You don't lose yourself in fear. You hold your standards with elegance. This kind of energy forces a man to rise or step aside. And when he rises with the intention to keep you forever. Ultimately, making him feel marriage energy is not about impressing him, pleasing him, or molding yourself for him. It is about becoming the most powerful version of yourself. Calm, feminine, confident, emotionally intelligent, purposeful, and spiritually aligned. When you carry this energy, you don't have to make him imagine marriage. He will do it naturally. He will do it effortlessly. He will do it because your presence feels like a blessing, your heart feels like home, and your energy feels like his future. That is the woman he remembers. That is the woman he returns to. That is the woman he chooses. And that is the woman you are becoming, starting now. Marriage energy begins the moment you recognize your own worth as something sacred and undeniable. When you walk with a quiet certainty, a man feels that energy long before he understands it. Your presence becomes a reminder of what he has been searching for: stability, warmth, and a sense of destiny. You no longer need to speak loudly to be noticed. Your aura carries its own voice. He senses your confidence in the way you move, the way you hold yourself, and the way you look at life. This inner value makes you radiant, not because you try to shine, but because you naturally glow. When you honor your boundaries, he feels inspired to respect you. When you love yourself, he feels drawn to love you. When you expect the best for your life, he feels compelled to rise to that level. Your self-worth becomes the silent message that tells him you are not an option. You are the woman whose presence feels like a gift. And that alone awakens marriage energy in his mind every time he thinks of you. A man begins imagining a future with a woman when her presence brings calm instead of confusion. Peace is a rare energy in today's world, and when a woman carries it naturally, it becomes unforgettable. He feels safe with her, not because she tries to fix him, but because she understands him. She becomes the stillness he didn't know he needed, the softness that balances his storms. Her energy doesn't rush, doesn't panic, doesn't cling. It flows with grace. Every interaction with her feels like exhaling after holding breath for too long. Her calmness becomes a refuge, a gentle reminder that love doesn't have to be chaotic. When he thinks of her, his heart slows down, his mind clears, and his spirit feels settled. This emotional peace makes him picture her by his side in every chapter of life. She becomes the woman whose presence feels like the home he wants to return to again and again. And without her ever trying, she becomes the one he imagines forever with. Emotional maturity is the silent magnet that deepens a man's respect and attachment. When a woman responds instead of reacts, she instantly separates herself from anyone he has ever known. She listens to understand, not to attack, and that makes him feel safe in opening his heart. She doesn't let temporary emotions destroy meaningful connections. She knows how to pause, breathe, and choose wisdom over impulse. This level of emotional stability shows him that love with her is sustainable, not fragile. He begins to see her as a woman he can build with, grow with, and face life alongside. When she communicates with kindness instead of anger, he feels valued. When she expresses her needs with clarity, he feels understood. When she forgives without forgetting her worth, he feels honored. Her maturity becomes the foundation on which he imagines building a life. A woman who leads with emotional intelligence doesn't ask for commitment. She naturally inspires it. Mystery and softness blend into an energy that makes him think of you, even in your absence. A woman who reveals herself slowly, with depth and intention, creates a magnetic pull that a man cannot resist. She is open enough to be known, yet mysterious enough to be discovered. Her softness isn't weakness. It is the gentle strength that draws him closer. She doesn't overshare, rush, or overwhelm. She lets each layer reveal itself in perfect timing. Every conversation leaves him wanting more. Every moment with her feels meaningful. She becomes the woman he thinks about at night, wondering what else lies within her spirit. Her mystery creates curiosity, and her softness creates emotional comfort. Together they form an unforgettable energy that lingers in his mind long after the conversation ends. He begins to imagine what life with her would feel like, what mornings with her would look like, what a future with her might become. She becomes his quiet fascination, the woman he cannot stop thinking about. Confidence that shows through action becomes one of the strongest marriage energies a woman can carry. When you live your standards, rather than speak them, a man sees your truth. Your consistency becomes your power, the rhythm that tells him you are real. Each time you honor your boundaries, you teach him how to treat you. Each time you stay grounded in your expectations, you show him your worth. Confidence isn't a loud performance. It's the steady knowing that you deserve the best. When he observes your self-respect, he feels inspired to rise into a better version of himself. He begins to see you as the type of woman whose loyalty is earned through effort, not taken for granted. Your actions show that you are stable, reliable, and emotionally aligned. These traits make him picture you as a life partner, the woman who will walk beside him with strength and grace. Without trying to impress him, your authenticity becomes the exact thing that impresses him most. Detachment with dignity is one of the rarest forms of feminine power, and it leaves a permanent mark on a man's mind. When you don't chase, beg, or cling, you show him that your world does not collapse without him. This calm detachment comes from deep self-respect, the understanding that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. Men find this energy irresistible because it carries stability and confidence. You don't use silence to punish. You use it to protect your peace. You don't threaten to leave. You simply walk away when you are no longer valued. Your dignity becomes a mirror that shows him his own behavior clearly. And in that mirror, he realizes your worth. This graceful detachment doesn't push him away. It pulls him closer. He sees that you choose him, but you don't need him. You desire him, but you don't depend on him. That difference makes him feel drawn, committed, and ready to step forward with intention. Your feminine calmness becomes the emotional home he didn't know he needed. When a woman carries softness in her tone, warmth in her presence, and peace in her spirit, she naturally creates a safe emotional space. Men open up to women who feel gentle, not judgmental. They reconnect with themselves around women who feel tender, not tense. Feminine calmness is the energy that brings harmony into his life. You don't have to say much. Your silence alone can soothe him. Your laughter can refresh him. Your smile can reset his mind. This gentle presence begins to fill the empty spaces in his heart. He starts craving your energy, the comfort, the serenity, the softness. He imagines waking up next to you, walking through life with you, and building dreams beside you. You become the peace he wants to protect. You become the softness he wants to come home to. You become the sanctuary his soul has been longing for. Purpose is another powerful energy that makes a man imagine you as part of his future. A woman with vision shines differently. Her life has direction, meaning, and intention. She is not waiting for a relationship to fulfill her. She is already fulfilled within herself. Her goals make her attractive. Her discipline makes her inspiring, and her ambition makes her unforgettable. Men admire women who walk confidently toward their dreams. When he sees you committed to your growth, he begins to believe that life with you will be full of progress, not stagnation. You become a woman he can build with, not just a woman he can talk to. Your purpose gives him a glimpse of a shared future filled with expansion. He feels honored to imagine himself beside you, supporting you, uplifting you, and growing with you. You become his motivation, his reflection of strength, and the vision he wants to align with forever.